Welcome, I'm Coach Woodbrey, and this is My House Throws. Welcome, My House Throwers. This is Coach Woodbrey, and this is a video about the terminology, the words, the phrases I use while coaching. First, I'd like to introduce you to my different words and phrases that deal with the ring. The ring is the area in which you'll be throwing. The field in which you throw is called a sector. Now, the ring I've divided up into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 I call the blocking area because your block side of your body will be positioned in this area. Quadrant 2 is the delivery area. Your delivery side, or the side that has the implement in hand, is where your body ought to be in this area. Quadrant 3 is a restricted area, and I will talk about that more in a different video when it comes to coming across the ring in a full throw. In Quadrant 4, I like to call the momentum area. This is the area in which you're going to start to gain momentum so that we have some force behind our throws. I've also divided the ring into a clock. 12 o'clock is facing the sector or the throwing area in which you will be throwing. If your body is facing at a 90-degree angle, that is 3 o'clock, and if your back is to where you're going to be throwing, you are at 6 o'clock facing. Now, all of these are as if I was coaching a right-handed thrower. So a left-handed thrower, you'd have to do a 12, 9, and 6 o'clock. To every athlete, there are 2 different sides. There is the delivery side and there's the blocking side. The delivery side is the side that has the implement in their hand. The blocking side is the opposite of the delivery side, and it is the side that will stop to help create a slingshot or a catapult motion on the delivery side.
An athletic stance is used in many sports. When properly done, it engages the glutes and the hamstrings, which are powerful muscles on the backside of your body and are responsible for extending your hips or straightening your hips from a bent position. From this position, explosive movements can be done effectively. If done ineffectively, you will activate the quadriceps, muscles on the front of your leg, which are weaker muscles mainly used to straighten your legs and don't contribute to drive and power of the hips, nor increase your explosion and speed. An athletic stance is a squatting position where the chest is over the toes, not the knees. The hips are back and the shins are almost vertical. You should be able to feel the burn of the muscles on the back of your leg and not the front to know if you're doing it right. When I coach, I use a ground-up approach, meaning I start correcting form from the footwork and feet to the head. The reason for this is if I focus on the perfecting of the upper body form too early, the athlete will develop bad habits that don't involve the full power of the lower body, and then when perfecting the form of the lower body, the upper body form is no longer correct, messing up their distance and power, and has to be corrected again because upper body form was perfected with lower body imperfection. Active ankle movement is created by flaring the heels in a certain direction and the driving the knee down into the ground to create momentum and speed for the needed critical times during the throw. When you stop the ankles, you stop the throw. So it's important that you don't stop at the wrong time, or you might be throwing against your body and waste the power needed for the throw.
The next word I use with the legs is don't buckle the knee. Buckling the knee means that once you planted a knee and I want it locked, you've bent it or it has buckled underneath you. Open hips and closed hips. Open hips means that your hips are facing the sector in the direction that you're going to be throwing and has nothing obstructing the power from your lower body to throw into the sector. Closed hips means that they are not facing directly towards where you're throwing. If I say stay big, it means I don't want you to break at the waist, which also means no slouching or bending the back. I want your chest up and I want your chest out. So we want you to stay big. Show everyone how tough you are.
Staying long means I want you in a T position, meaning your arms are 90-degree angles to your torso. In discus, when I say stay long, it means to keep that discus as far from your body as possibly can, acting as if it's a poisonous device.
If I say stay back, it means I want your weight on top of your delivery leg so that we can use the power of your legs to be able to lift and drive the implement out into the sector.
Separation is needed for an effective and powerful throw. Separation is created when your feet are ahead of your hips and your hips are ahead of your shoulders. For example, your toes could be pointing at 12 o'clock, your hips at 1:30, and your shoulders at 3. You have separation. If all three of these are pointing the same direction, you have no separation. If only one is behind, then you have partial separation. Stretch reflex is the stretching of a relaxed muscle and its natural reflex or tendency to contract, which creates power and torque through elastic energy, or what I like to call elasticity. Stretch reflex is created by properly having separations, as discussed previously. An example of stretch reflex is if I take my hand and I put it up against my chest and I try to hit myself as hard as I can with that finger, there's not a lot of power. But if I take these relaxed muscles and I pull this back and I let go and then I forcefully hit my chest, it has a lot more power. That is because of stretch reflex. Another example is using a rubber band. If you take a rubber band and you just let go of it, it has no power to it. If I pull it back, it will be able to shoot through the air because of the elastic energy in which it has. And to another level of elasticity or elastic energy, if I pull it back really fast and shoot it, then it will have even more power. And so that's what we're trying to generate as you're throwing. Now that you have all the different terminology and vocabulary words and phrases that I use, you'll be able to understand each of the videos a little bit better. I hope that this helps improve your understanding of how to throw so that you can be proud of my house.